Welcome to the Website Success Show, the podcast dedicated to helping women in business get more traffic and sales through their website with less reliance on social media and paid ads. I'm Jules White, the founder of the Website Success Hub, and I love helping local and online businesses make more money through their existing website. If you have a business you love, but you don't like the way your website performs, then this is the show for you. So hi, today we're diving into a website conversion rate optimization audit for Serena and Nim from serenebaby.com. By the end of this episode, hopefully we'll have identified one or two key areas you can focus on to reach your goals over the next 6 months. So welcome to you both. It's great to have you here.
Hi. Hi. Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. So before we start, if we were to meet in 6 months' time and you were telling me about the amazing things happening in your business, how would your website be helping you with that?
I think sometimes our website can be quite clunky, and in our mind we think, okay, that looks easy or that seems quite clear, but actually it might not be for the end user. So I think still making it easy for our clients and customers to book on, but at the same time just being quite smooth and slick, I guess.
Yeah, easy way of booking.
Yeah, I think that's really important actually, and that can make a big difference to whether people actually do take the action you want them to. So I think that's a really good place to focus. So just before we dive in, tell us a little bit about your business and how your website currently kind of sits within your marketing activities.
Well, we started about 7 years ago, and Nim, you've been about 3 years now in the business. I set up the website through, I think it was originally through Wix, and then I moved it over all to Squarespace. But yeah, I just kind of, I don't know, we created it together. I set it all out and then you did all the finer details, didn't you?
Yeah. And then we just kind of we mapped it out initially on like a piece of paper where we said, okay, well, this will be the heading and this is where this can sit and this can be where that sits.
And the flow of each page of where if they click, then it will take them onto the next page as well.
And our goal was just making it easy because we both, I mean, I know I have as well, especially recently, tried to go and book something online, say like another class from me and my daughter, where I've just been like, this is impossible, like how on earth? And so just using that as experience, you've got to log in and then you've got to join this and then you've got to join that and then you've got to pay. Whereas it's just like, book, pay, and then everything else comes afterwards kind of thing to your inbox.
I think when you're a busy mum, you only have a few minutes to quickly do that booking. So if it is a bit of a faff and you've got to log in and do this and do that, you could put your phone down and then that's it. The booking's gone and you've forgotten about it because you're busy with the baby or a toddler.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what you offer, and whether you make sales through your website or whether it's something that, whether that happens independently.
So we teach baby massage and baby yoga. We have baby spa.
I do weaning workshops and do messy play as well, and kind of one-off kind of messy play specials and things like that.
And we get all our bookings through the website. So that's where we drive everyone. The recommendations come through word of mouth, but even when we're posting on social media, it's always to get them to get to the website because that's the only way they can book.
Perfect. Fantastic.
Gift vouchers as well.
Yeah, gift vouchers. Yeah.
Okay. And is everything in person? You have online, did you say you have some online stuff as well?
Everything is in person. We are working towards selling a course online.
Yeah, we do have an online course on our website set up that is available. Anyone without kind of being local wants to purchase it. But yeah, we don't host any kind of live online workshops or courses.
No, but you've got things that you can sell aside from being able to actually book and come and do a class, which obviously slots are limited on that. You've also got the course that you can sell there as well.
But that doesn't sell as much as on in person.
Yeah, because we don't push it. We don't really push that.
Yeah, we don't push anything online. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So let me put my teeth back in first. Let me start sharing my screen. So what other sort of marketing activities are you doing besides your website, just quickly before we dive into the screen?
We have Instagram, which is where we kind of update throughout the day, giving kind of updates on both of us, whether we're teaching, whether if we've got a bit of time where we're doing something maybe with our children or something, we give a bit of a life update kind of in real life and post about our courses. And then we also do Facebook ads but in local groups, and then also do ads on Facebook as well.
So Facebook ads and then
Yeah,
organic.
Facebook ads, we do it more to get like cold leads rather than saying this is our class. The Facebook ads are to get, this is what we do around this area, to drive them again to go to the website to have a look.
Okay. And have you got an email list? Are you emailing your customers?
Yes. Yeah.
That's good. I like to hear that. Okay. So having a little look at your website, is there any particular sort of challenge or anything in particular you would like me to sort of focus on? You mentioned user experience, because obviously there's lots of things we could do and talk about in terms of conversion rate optimization. Or do you want me to just dive in and tell you a couple of things that I've seen?
Do you want to dive in?
Yeah, dive in.
Okay. Well, here I am. I'm on your homepage, and I always say whenever you come into a homepage or whenever you come into any page on your website, and if you're driving Facebook ads to a particular landing page, whatever you're doing, when someone's coming into your website, ideally we want them to know within about 3 seconds what you do, how you're going to make their life better, and what we need to do to get it, or what they need to do to get it. And one thing I did sort of notice straight away with this hero section on your homepage is there's a lot going on within it. So I would maybe just think about this section and just think about how you can just streamline that a little bit. Have you thought about, with your homepage, what you actually want people to do? With the homepage, we can often have more than one call to action, but ideally with most pages on our website, we want to just have 1 or a maximum 2 call to actions, really. And certainly within that hero section at the top of the page, if I had to pin you down to 1 call to action, 1 thing you wanted someone to do when they came into your homepage, what would be your top thing you'd like them to do?
Yeah, book here.
Yeah, so book a session, book a class. Okay, so I would maybe think about that. Think about streamlining this hero section. This is quite wordy, your heading here. I was definitely thinking that you could take some words out of that and make it just a little bit more sort of streamlined. So you probably don't need to have at Serene Baby in there. That you could certainly take that away. I was thinking about it earlier and what you could do. So I was thinking maybe it could be something like peaceful and comforting baby massage and baby yoga for you and your baby to enjoy together. Even that is still quite wordy. I'm not a copywriter, so I'm literally that's off the top of my head. But something in there, I definitely would say, like, I'm sitting here now and I know what you need to do is just put that into ChatGPT and ask it to make it sort of a little bit more streamlined, because you want that to be punchy. You want someone to immediately be able to come in and know how you're going to help them. So whether it's something actually completely different to that, and it's enjoy time with your baby, or like what's sort of when you're talking to your customers and when they're telling you how amazing it is what you do with them, can you think of something in particular that sort of stands out that they say?
For me, it's the class size, intimate class sizes that they like.
Okay.
Calming. A lot of parents who come say, oh, she's really calm. Like a peaceful space, basically.
So I definitely would talk about the benefits. So the class size is great, and that should be in there as if something that you mention, if not necessarily in this section, should be on your website to mention that. But that's more of a feature. Whereas actually, if you're thinking about class sizes, what's the benefit of it being small class sizes? So that is that they obviously get more attention. It's even more calming. It's all of those sort of things. If you flip it on its head and think of what is the benefit to them of it being small class sizes. And then what did you say? It was calming. Did you say they feel really calm afterwards?
Yeah. Generally, parents are like, oh, yeah, I feel really calm when I come here, or it's just really nice and relaxing. So that always makes me feel like, quite good, because you're just like, okay, that's what you want them to feel when you come.
But then also, if we talk about benefits, the benefits they do love like learning that skill of baby massage and baby yoga, because it empowers them when they get home to help their baby. Yeah.
So you could even dive a little bit further in that. How does that help them when they're back at home? They've learned this amazing skill. They've had this amazing experience with their baby. How does that help them as well? Although I would probably keep it to what are the benefits of within the class immediately, or like sort of the general benefits of it really here. Okay. And it's not something, I'm not trying to get you to like pin you down to a new headline for your homepage. I can't tell you how many times I've changed the homepage headline on my website and I'm still not happy with it. So it's one of those things that I think this is an area that can definitely evolve. But it is clear what you do, it's baby massage and baby yoga classes. If my mum looked at your website, she would immediately know what you do, but just making it sort of a little bit like people can kind of read it a little bit easier. It's eye catching, and because people's attention span is terrible. And if they won't read longer than a few words really in a headline, to be honest with you. And you could always have a subheadline there. So if you want to then sort of clarify it, you could do that there really. And then just one call to action. So I would definitely have something a little bit more like book a relaxing baby class here, or however you would describe it in your own words, but just something a little bit more than sort of book here. Have that there. Make that button bigger.
Does it matter the size of the button? Like
it literally does.
Relaxing
Yeah. So it does. I was just going to say, make that button bigger as well. So we want them to be able to like have that button so they can't miss it. So if I come over to, and most of this stuff, ideally we should think about from a mobile point of view, because the majority of people, especially with what you're doing, people are going to be on their mobiles. Mums are going to be on their mobiles when they're looking at this really. So this page is just a sort of a mock-up of mobiles, but so it doesn't always quite look the same, but it's pretty much the same. I'm looking on my phone and I'm seeing pretty much the same thing as here. So I would definitely think, especially with mobile, make sure that button, for mobile, I would even have it as a full width button and have the text size bigger as well. So definitely that's the thing you want them to do, is click on that button. So make it that you literally can't miss that. One little thing you can do with all of the buttons on your website as well is add a directional cue. So literally where you put a couple of chevrons or an arrow, or if you've got baby icons or something like that that's pointing in the right direction, the direction you want to sort of take action in, then put that on your buttons as well. So next to book here, I have it on mine where I just literally put a couple of chevrons on there. So it's sort of pointing them to help them take the action you want to. It's just a little thing that you can do. It's not going to massively make a difference, but it can help really. And then I would be inclined, as much as the Muddy Stilettos award is great, I would probably be inclined to take that away and use that somewhere else on the page. Or if that's something that's really critical for people to understand that about you straight away, you could even have it as a little attention bar or hello banner, or whatever you want to call it, across the top here. I probably wouldn't. I would imagine there's something that could be more important and more valuable to get across an attention bar if you were going to use one. So I'd be inclined to do that. I was looking at the video in the background and I love it. I love the fact that the video isn't obscuring what's happening with the text, but I don't know if maybe had that laid out slightly differently so that you could see a bit more of the video. So I would have a try of having the video and the words next to each other on the page. So sometimes you'll see websites where they're laid out like that, or just maybe try seeing if there's anything you can do where the video does then stand out a little bit more, because that immediately shows what you do as well. And it's literally somebody massaging a baby then. Yeah. How do you feel about that in terms of your homepage hero section? Does that feel like
that's really helpful?
Yeah,
definitely we can do that. And like you said, like the video, maybe not have it as a background, have it more as a little feature.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you could even do both. You could have it in the background, and then if you've got like a video sequence of different videos from your classes that you probably do, I would imagine you do that kind of stuff on social media, do you? You've got videos that you could use there. It might be more beneficial to actually have an actual video, like almost like a video sales letter there, where you literally have a collection of clips that you put together, and it's you talking over the top of it of what it's like to come and join a class and the benefits, and those kind of things could actually be really, really helpful.
Would that go underneath that button?
I think I probably would put that there. I mean, I would have a little play around with it really and just see what's going to look best. So certainly on mobile, I would be thinking, okay, what's going to look best here? Once you take some of those words out of that heading, then you're going to have a little bit more space to play around with as well, really. And then I would try different things. You'll know. I think when you play around with it and you think, actually, yeah, no, that looks good, then you'll know whether it's going to work for people. And ask your customers. That's the other thing as well. Ask people to have a look and see what they think of it, really.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that and put some kind of video sales letter on there, have it that it auto plays. If it is embedded in your website, just make sure that it's not a massive file size and it's not going to slow your website down. Unfortunately, with Squarespace, your page load speed is a little bit slow anyway because of the code in Squarespace. It's something that you can't change. So making sure that any images you upload, any videos that you upload to your page, make sure they're nice small file sizes, because that's the only thing you can do. You can't control the back end code, but you can control your images that you put in there. And that all helps with user experience and with conversions as well, because if a page is slow to load, then people will just disappear back off, or they'll go back to Google or wherever they found you from, really. So it's worth doing that.
I've just got a quick question on that, actually, Jules. In terms of Squarespace, would you, because I've obviously also heard things about like places like Shopify or getting a website built from complete scratch and things like that. Is there anything anywhere that you would suggest that as a hosting platform or?
Yeah, I mean, I do have recommendations for what the websites platforms I use. I actually literally recorded my last podcast episode that I released was about this. So I recommend FBA Create, but it does depend on your business. It depends on what functionality you need. Shopify is great for if you are an online store and you're selling lots. It's very really best for e-commerce businesses. I think for a local business where you're taking class bookings and you just have one or two online courses, I don't think Shopify would be really the best platform for you. So have a listen to that episode, that previous episode. I will drop a link to that in the show notes for this episode as well. But it all depends. I definitely have some very strong feelings about platforms. Squarespace isn't terrible, but there are a few things with it, like the back end code and the slowness of it, that can cause issues. But that being said, you've got a website there that looks nice. If it's working for you, then it wouldn't necessarily be the best thing to then switch for. Just, you've got to have some good reasons to actually switch a website that's well established, has got lots of pages on it, for it to make it financially viable for you, really.
Okay.
Do you have any sort of, have you got any other reasons why you'd want to move from Squarespace, or is it literally just that
No,
thing? I don't know if
uh,
it's the right one.
yeah, it was more just like trying to figure out, is it the right platform or what is right? Because we just kind of went with what we knew, not in terms of what we knew, but we knew that we would be able to kind of like put something together on Squarespace.
Yeah.
Whereas other platforms, like making it for ourselves, for example, we wouldn't be able to do because we haven't got that skill set. So we were like, let's just go with this. Whereas making that decision at the time, a few years, now 2-3 years ago now, 2 years ago, we just kind of went with it. And it's good.
I think that's fine. I honestly do. I think if it's working for you, and one of the big benefits of Squarespace is it is easy to use. One thing I would definitely not say to any small business owner is don't have a custom built website, because one of the most important things in terms of both SEO and being able to make changes to your conversion rate optimization and make the most of your website is that you're able to make changes yourself, whether that's you or somebody in your team or a VA or somebody who, a web developer. You need to be able to make changes to your website yourself. Otherwise, it really does put you at disadvantage, really. Actually, that leads me on to something that I saw with your website in terms of making changes and keeping it up to date. So the reason it's good for you to be able to make changes yourself is because it then helps Google to understand that your website's still up to date. You're still a business that's functioning. This is still up to date content. And obviously we're not here to talk about SEO today. We're talking about conversions, but I always, there's always crossover. I always have to mention things. And actually this does apply to both. So when I looked at your website, I looked down in the footer and you could do with updating your copyright symbol down here. Not the symbol, the year. So it's on copyright 2023. So there are ways you can do that, and you can just put a little snippet of code in that automatically updates it. If not, just set yourself a little reminder on like the 5th of January or something to pop in and update that, because it helps people and it helps Google to understand that this is still valid, that your website's not been neglected. I think it gives a good impression to both customers and to search engines as well. And then think about whether you still need the pandemic policy in there as well, because that's another thing that can, right now, I think it sort of dates the website a little bit. So maybe just look at tweaking that, taking that out. Okay. One of those things that until somebody says that to you, you're like, oh yeah, actually I probably should update that, shouldn't I? So we were talking about the Muddy Stiletto Awards, and this is definitely something that I think it's great to have this on your website. It's definitely good. It's a great way to raise your authority, just increase that trust on your website as well. But I maybe would just bring that down further on the page. I probably would have that somewhere near your About Us section. Have you got any other places that you're featured, or any other awards, or has anything major else happened in your business? Have you done any guest speaking, or have you done any events or anything like that since you?
She was on TV.
I was on MTV.
As featured on MTV.
Teaching a celebrity baby massage.
Fantastic.
So she came to a class, and then so it got featured on MTV, but that's the only other.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I would definitely add that in as well. As featured in Muddy Stiletto Awards on MTV.
Okay.
Could even have a little, if it's a public video that you can share, you could even have a little link to that there. Definitely. Yeah, 100%. And then in here you could also, I couldn't remember whether you had any Oh, there's one here, a little customer testimonial.
Yeah.
If you can get some of those and have some of those here on the homepage as well. The homepage is really a page where you can sprinkle all these kind of things through that page as well. I would, anytime that you have a button where you're asking people to take an action, try and have a little snippet of some customer testimonial there, or something that increases the trust. So you could even have it rated 5-star by 100+ people or something like that, and have that near your buttons as well. And you could even do that up here in the hero section as well. So it doesn't have to be intrusive, just a small little piece of text that says the amazing things that your customers are saying about you, really. Okay. And then just thinking about what else you want people to do from your homepage as well. So again, we've got quite a few calls to action on this page. You're going to take the join the wait list and book a retreat here out of the hero section. I would then be thinking about what can you add in here that maybe talks a little bit about the problems that you're solving. So yeah, even something like this, a review or a testimonial like this somewhere on your homepage could be really helpful as well. It doesn't have to be, it can be the same one. It's not the end of the world if you used the same one, or you can actually break them up as well. So you could even take this part out of it and move that onto your homepage. So you could use the same picture, the same obviously client name and everything, and just have part of that testimonial on your homepage. I like the fact that this is a short testimonial. That's really good. People skim read things and they won't read big walls of text. So sometimes people feel like they have to put the whole testimonial on there because this is amazing things people have said about me. But actually, it's much better if it's small things. Or yeah, we can't wait to come back. People can instantly almost read it without even reading it. They skim past and they see that amazing stuff that people are saying about you. Coming back to your homepage, I maybe would just talk about a little bit about some of the problems that people have and the solutions that you're offering, really, in terms of when people come to you, what kind of issues are they having? Why do they decide to use baby massage? And maybe it isn't that they're having problems. Maybe it's that they are just trying to. I'm trying to think back in the salon, the ways that we would, I don't even know that we used to do this back then, actually, because when I was doing the websites back in the salon, I didn't know all about this SEO and conversion rate optimization stuff, really. But do you get what I'm sort of trying to say? That actually, when people come to you, what sort of things can you help them with, really?
Yeah, I just thought that when you said that, and I think we haven't got that on the homepage, really.
No.
Yeah.
Have you got that anywhere on your website, do you think?
In the blogs we have how it can help, but not actually on the homepage.
Yeah, and that could be as simple as actually just linking to a few of the blogs from the homepage as well. That would be fine to do that. Definitely with a homepage, as I say, we can point people in different directions, but actually if it's going to help them to understand, or you could even have some icons or something in here of the benefits of baby yoga and baby massage. So you could have that in there, just something that helps people understand how this is going to help them, really, and why they need it, why they need this amazing thing. Yeah. And then you could have something in here just so that people know immediately either where you're based, or I think it said a little bit in your about section, didn't it? But that is something you could probably have a bit higher up the page. Oh, it says here in Hertfordshire, yeah, as part of the Muddy Stilettos thing there. But I would just maybe make that a little bit clearer here.
Yeah, you're right. We haven't got that on the homepage anywhere. Yeah. Where we are actually located.
Yeah, so that it's just so it's clear that what they're looking at here is they can book in-person classes with their baby to come and learn baby yoga and baby massage. Probably on these I would maybe have only one button on these. Okay. So what does learn more take them?
Takes us to about our classes page.
Okay. And do you have pages for each of the classes?
No,
I would think about that.
I don't know if we do actually.
Book here.
No, we don't then. Yeah, no, it's just book here and takes them.
We used to, and then I condensed it into smaller little snippets, like about our classes.
Okay. I mean, I think that it could help. Then this is more from an SEO point of view, really. I think maybe having those individual pages for each of these classes, if they're very unique and people would be searching for that particular thing, I would maybe think about it, having those pages there, or even just having sections on this page and just having a little bit more, have it broken up into a little bit more that people can very easily find out more about what they are without it kind of being like, I know it's not walls of text, but it's still lots of text here. So I would maybe think about some creative ways to break that up, really. Okay. Even with what to bring, that could be little icons with the word next to it and things like that, really. Yeah. And all of these things it's not something that is going to happen immediately, but it's just little extra steps that you could do just to make the user experience and make the clarity just a little bit clearer, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would think about doing that. And you could even have a little section on this page of like, if that blog is about how this helps babies to sleep better, then just even a couple of sentences on this page could really help with that as well. Looking at, let's have a little look. What else can we look on here? Oh, one thing I did think as well, maybe for the gift vouchers section, have you got some pictures of your gift vouchers? Even just some mock-ups or something like that?
Yeah, we don't.
No, we don't.
Because gift vouchers are all by
It's all
email.
online.
Yeah.
I guess we could box them up.
Yeah.
Or just something that represents a gift voucher here. So it could be an email, and you could represent that in a picture. But I think that might just be a little bit more eye-catching there of it. Even that, like the gift of, you could even have it that way. So have a little heading of the gift of baby, again tying it into the benefit, the gift of baby serenity or something like that, and then have that as a little bit more of a description there, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then with the call to action there, it could be give the gift of serenity, or those kind of things, really. I'm definitely not a copywriter. This is why I use ChatGPT all the time. So one other thing I would say is about the navigation menu. I think, is there anything you could do with the navigation menu to streamline that a little bit? Because that's quite a lot. Anything where you're going on to the next page. When I looked on mobile, obviously it does look a little bit better on mobile because it's a list going downwards. One thing I would say about this though is if you have the option to adjust the padding around these buttons or around these menu items, definitely put a little bit more space between them. It is the same on my mobile as well. I had a little look, but Google doesn't like buttons and things without enough text around them, basically, that if somebody's got fat fingers, then they can actually tap on it and be able to tap where they need to, or not just fat fingers. That's no, if people have got any accessibility issues, then being able to tap easily and get to where they need to be will help with SEO and also help with that user experience as well, really.
With the a banner at the top,
yes,
which because I tried so many times to try and condense it, but it just doesn't. I don't think it was that it didn't do it, did it? It was just being a bit. I can't remember now. It was such a long time ago, but every time we would add something and I'd try and drag and drop it into so it came down as like a kind of hover and then come down, it wouldn't work. But I'll have another look and see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do that with Squarespace, as in you can have sub menus. I think you can. I would ask Google.
I tried it on one of the others, but I don't know why.
Yeah,
but it just didn't.
Are you thinking like when it says contact, maybe, I don't know, about us, contact, and then frequently asked questions, maybe those could condense down, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And thinking about, okay, what is the wait list for?
If we're fully booked a couple of months in advance, they can pop their details on the wait list and then we contact them first before we do any new class releases.
Okay.
So they're the first. I think
you could potentially condense that one and have that one under our classes. So, and then you can still have that somewhere on the homepage. That could be another section, another whole banner section of our classes get booked up in advance, join the wait list, and actually have that as a section within here. So people, that's quite a good way to show people that yes, you are very busy and people want to come here, but without it actually being then cluttering up the navigation. So you could definitely drop that within the R classes. And whether then the book here, I don't know. Do you need the login here? How many people kind of log in?
That's for the online course.
Okay.
So
I would, if that's not the biggest part of your business right now, I would be more inclined to drop that into the footer menu, because people will look there. If they're looking for how to log on, drop that into the footer menu. You could even have that underneath the pre-recorded course. You could have login in there if you felt like you really wanted to have something up. And then I would actually turn the book here into the button. If that's the action that you want most people to do, have that as a button here as well. That's going to be a lot more valuable. I would kill the Instagram.
Why that's there? I have no idea why. I was just like, I saw that and I was like, what is that doing there?
A lot of people have their social in their header or in the navigation menu. It's kind of like, oh yeah, we want them to follow us everywhere. The problem with that is if they're then off on Instagram, they're not on your website anymore, and they're scrolling socials and you've lost them.
Yeah.
So
I have no idea why that's there.
I always say just put your socials in the footer. That way, at least people then hopefully have scrolled through all of the sections on your website that you want them to before they've got to your social media. People will always find you on socials if they, you know, if you've got it somewhere on your website, but we want to try and keep them here, keep their attention long enough for them to actually make a booking, really. And then, yeah, I would maybe even with this like pre-recorded course, is there a way you can make that sound more compelling? Like, is there something that learn baby massage at home, or learn baby massage in your own time, or something like that, that just makes it, you might find just a few tweaks to that page, and you could definitely use ChatGPT to help you. If you're finding that you're not getting that many sales of that through your courses, but you're getting website visitors, then how can you make that sound more compelling for people to actually want to go through it, or at least click through to that page and find out what it's all about, really?
Yeah, we debated for some time actually what it should be called, and then because it just wanted to get it on there, it was like, you know what, just put it as that, because otherwise it's going to be pondering about what to put it as for such a long time that, I mean, obviously now you know.
I love that. I love done is better than perfect. And yeah, you wouldn't have made any sales if it wasn't there on your website already. So I love that. And the fact that then, you can look at it now and think, actually, there are other things we could do. And now probably 2 years ago, we probably didn't have ChatGPT to help us with this kind of stuff. Well. And then frequently asked questions, I'm sure that could go under one of the other menus as well. So whether that is then it goes under our classes, or even it can go under more than one menu. It could go under our classes, about us. I always have frequently asked questions on the contact us page anyway, because I just think it's a great way, if somebody's on your contact page and there's something they're not quite sure about, just having some questions underneath it. And it can be the same questions. It's absolutely fine to do that. Having that there can be really helpful, and it's a way to build out, just add a little bit of extra into a page that otherwise is very thin on content, really. So I always have them on my about page as well. So, and especially if you've got different frequently asked questions that you could use on those different pages, then I would think about that as well, really.
Good idea. I didn't think about doing it in other different places as well as
frequent asked questions as well are really good. As we're changing and we're moving more into AI searches and AI overviews, having those kind of things that can be taken as a snippet from your website are the kind of things that often you'll see appearing in those AI overviews as well. So that can be really helpful to use that. In summary, we've had a few things for you to do. And one thing I would say is it doesn't have to all happen at once. So even if you just focus on one thing at a time, I definitely would spend some time on that hero section. In fact, actually, I would probably say do the navigation menu first, because the hero section can sometimes feel like a bit of a like, oh, no, but actually the navigation menu, if you streamline that, I think it's going to immediately make that top section of your website look a lot better, I think, really. So then with the hero section, it was just sort of condensing that heading. I'm just going to check what heading level you've got on there as well. So make that into a H1 heading as well. Ideally, that's from an SEO point of view. You will do that in Squarespace. So when you're in your Squarespace builder, there'll be a tab that says whether it's paragraphed, H1, H2. And ideally, on every page of our website, we just want one H1 heading. So add that in there, or change that into that when you're actually in there making those changes anyway. So just
for that top bit of text?
Yeah, that's for this bit of text here.
Right.
Yeah. So that is currently set to, I don't think it was set to anything actually. Yeah, it's not actually set as a heading.
Right.
So, yeah. So ideally, if we're just, because I can't help myself, if we're looking at the back end of a website, ideally what we want to see is a hierarchy that kind of looks a bit like an English essay. So where you would have just one heading, within that you would have the subheadings, which would be H2s, and then maybe within a H2 you might have a H3, which is like a subsection within that. But ideally we want it to be like a streamlined hierarchy down the page, because that helps the bots and helps it is the bots really, that it helps them to be able to read your website. And screen readers is the other thing as well. If people are using it for accessibility, for whatever reason people are using a screen reader, then it makes it a lot more logical for it to actually read it down the page properly. And that's something that can really help with SEO as well, really. And then while you're in there, just add in a page title and description there as well.
Okay.
I've got plenty of podcast episodes about that, the kind of minimum things that you want to do, like the foundations that you can do from an SEO point of view. So yeah, doing that, taking out some of those excess buttons and the muddy stiletto, just moving that further down the page, streamline your navigation menu, maybe add in some blogs and things to your homepage, some links, the gift vouchers, we said about that as well. And then just updating the year stuff as well. So just updating the copyright year and the pandemic policy. Do something with that. If you want to leave it on there, it's fine, but probably just don't need it here in your Twitter anymore. Any questions or any major thoughts that have come up?
Oh no, it's really good. It's nice to have your eyes on it as well, because like you said, we say it all the time, but actually when you're saying, you're like, oh yeah, we haven't got a blog on the or
actually, to be honest, I realistically, looking at it from an analytical perspective, it's very rare that we sit and properly do it. So being kind of made now to look at our website in that way, because normally we're quite busy where you just like, right, classes are on, we need to add this, we need to add that, and then you just kind of do it and you're like, okay, wish for the best. It looks all right. But
I think you've said this before, like some people like obviously do their website and we just leave it for a little while. It's like you forget, it's just there, we've got our classes up there, but actually just going back and just making little tweaks every now and then to keep it up to date and refreshed.
Yeah, definitely. And if you've got content on there that you think, actually, this is a really good old blog post, just bring it up to date, just make a few tweaks to it, see if there's anything else you can add into it and those kind of things. So it doesn't have to be a case of changing everything and creating loads of new content for your website. I am a firm believer in creating content that we own first. So create content for your website and then share that across social media. But it doesn't have to be that you're going in there and you're making loads of changes. Like once you get to a point where you've got those foundations in place and it's where you want it to be, you then can just go in and make tweaks and changes. And especially as you get more sales going through your website and as you're selling more of the online courses, those tweaks can make a massive difference to the amount of sales that you're actually then making through your website as well.
Yeah. I think you're right when you say use the content on your website first before social media. You normally think the other way around, but actually look, all those blog posts that we've got, we could just be using that as content. Forget about it. It's there and you forget about it.
Yeah. And you own it. At the end of the day, no algorithm can take your website away. You own it. You're building an asset for your business as well. So it's such a common thing that I feel like I'm banging that drum all the time of actually, you own this. Give it a little love, give it a little time, especially as you are actually your sales are going through your website. Maybe just a few small tweaks could make a big difference to the amount of sales.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I've really enjoyed it as well. I loved it. It's
That's
great.
I've learned so much. I'll be on this weekend trying to make all these little adjustments and tweaks now.
Brilliant. I love it. So before we finish, I would love either one of you or both of you to give a little shout out and let everyone know again what you do and most importantly, where they can connect with you and find out more.
So I'm Nim and this is
Serena.
And we're from Serene Baby. We offer baby classes in Bedford. So Serena's in Wootton, I'm in Moggahanger, and you can find us at serenebaby.uk on Instagram.
And we also offer baby massage, baby yoga, baby spa, messy play, and Serene Start to Solid workshops as well in Moggahanger and Wootton.
Brilliant. Fantastic. And obviously go and check out your website as well.
Check out the website. Yes.
Check out the website, definitely. I will link to...
It's going to be new and improved.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tweaks. Let's just say tweaks. Tweaks can make the difference. I will link to the website in the show notes as well. So if this episode has made you think about boosting your website conversion rate, you can also check out episode 16 of the podcast, which is all about boosting your conversions and the top 3 website mistakes and how to fix them. So thank you so much for listening. Thanks for Serena and Nim for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Website Success Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. It helps others find the show. If you're ready to make your website work harder for you, grab my free beginner's guide to SEO. It's packed with simple, actionable tips to help you get started improving your website's visibility and attracting your dream client. Head to thewebsitesuccesshub.com/start to download it and take the guesswork out of creating a website that works for your business.